You've been taught to fear hellfire your entire life. But what if the Bible's blazing furnace is actually the most powerful spiritual tool you have? It's the alchemical fire that ends your struggle and transmutes the lead of fear into the gold of your true Christ consciousness. The parable of the net is not a story of internal judgment. It is the Aquarian blueprint for mental mastery, revealing how to stop being the passive receiver of the collective bad fish and start claiming your own reality. I am Satra Anuket, a guide, and this channel is your esoteric and metaphysical roadmap, decoding the 7 hermetic principles to activate your Christ consciousness through your own inner waters. Welcome to the channel that cracks the code on the universe. In today's teaching, we will decode the C as your subconscious mind, expose who your true angels of intuition are, and give you a 5-step process for mental discernment so you can claim your divine catch. Have you ever felt like your mind is just catching everything? All the thoughts, the news, the Epstein files, the worries, the old stories. It can feel heavy. Like you're hauling a net full of stuff that you didn't even ask for. This is the 3-part of my 9-part series on how to get to the kingdom of heaven. So let's get into the decoding. The parable of the net is found in the Gospel of Matthew 13. So I'm going to read it. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a net that was let down into the lake and caught all kinds of fish. When it was full, the fishermen pulled it up on the shore. Then they sat down and collected the good fish in baskets, but threw the bad away. This is how it will be at the end of age. The angels will come and separate the wicked from righteous and throw them into the blazing furnace. Well, there will be a weeping and a gnashing of teeth. On the surface, this parable is a common theme in the final judgment with apocalyptic Christianity. It describes a definitive separation at the end of time between the righteous, or the good fish, and the wicked, the bad fish. You know, Shakespeare said it best when he said, all the world is a stage, and we play the role of every character. And if we look at the Bible from a decoded lens of this parable, we understand that we play every character and every role in the Bible as well. This scripture, is describing the action of an internal process of discernment. The end of age is not the end of the world, but it is the end of a state of mind, a cycle of thinking. And now we're in the end of an age, and we are in the age of Aquarius. The age of Pisces is the victim consciousness. It has ended. We're noticing that the world is upside down right now. Like it seems like it's trying now more harder than ever to keep us down in a level of fear and hopelessness. Like the weakness that or appear to be the powers that be because they have a fiat currency are in control. But in reality, this is just the destructive beliefs of a war race of an end of an age. It's us versus them. But there's an end to that hold with this age of Aquarius, and it's an end of an age, and it's also an end of that world, an end of a dynasty that we are witnessing right before our very eyes. And this parable, this scripture, is a perfect analogy of how we're supposed to respond to what's happening. So the net represents your conscious awareness, your field of experience, and your perception, because your perception is your reality. And then you cast it into the sea, which is your subconscious mind and your psychic plane, where all of your thoughts, ideas, influences, and possibilities exist. I'm knocking over my mic. It's just the energy. In previous videos, we've already decoded that anytime we reference water, it symbolizes the subconscious mind, the collective unconscious, which in the realm of the infinite energy and potential. So if you want to go back and look at my decoding of Genesis, it's the beginning of the Bible. It talks about the sea of the subconscious mind, the face upon the waters. And it is vast and it is deep and it contains everything, both wonderful and terrifying possibilities, just like the ocean does. Nature is such a perfect representation of creation, including us, because we are nature. And so we know that this parable is taking place in the water because they're talking about fishing. And so the next decoding of the scripture is all kinds of fish. The fish are thoughts, ideas, beliefs, influences, and opportunities that you catch, you attract into your experience. Notice, you catch them because you are the cause and the effect of all that you see in your world. This is law, this is principle, because we get to choose our thoughts. This is the free will of being a conscious, free-thinking individual or being. And all thoughts in your reality are all equal. And there's all kinds of them. There's good fish. These are the creative, the positive, and the divine ideas, the ones that make you feel alive, the thoughts of love, abundance, health, peace, and joy, and heaven. They are your true righteous thoughts aligned with your higher self. And they feel like home and ease. And then there's the bad fish, the destructive, the negative, the fearful ideas, the thoughts of lack, separation, fear, unworthiness, hopelessness, collective trauma, keeping you in a lower density. That's why they sink to the bottom. And then the fishermen, they're pulling the net to shore. And when you pull in that net, you get to sort out your thoughts with discernment. You get to decide what you pull to shore. You look at the heavy, stinky thought, the bad fish, and you say, oh, I see you, bad thought. You're old energy. I see what's happening here. You're a story that doesn't belong to me. This doesn't make me feel good. And with compassion, you gently toss it back into the ocean. You don't fight it. You don't build a cage for it or a home for it or rationalize it or focus on why is it happening and that there's nothing that you could do that it exists. No, you're like, you know, this isn't my reality. You release it back to where it goes because you understand that you can choose and you have the power to bring into your subconscious world and your reality all kinds of good fish. And that beautiful, glimmering, good fish thought, you take it and you embrace it and you nurture it and you say, yes, this is mine. This is who I am. This is the truth of me. This is my reality. This is what feels like home. And you allow it to expand into your life, into your energy field. This is the daily moment-to-moment practice of alchemy, by choosing our thoughts, by choosing the good fish versus the bad fish. It's not about having a net that only catches the light. Like, oh, it's only love and light. That is impossible in this world because of the law that we're governed by. And this is what this parable is also letting us know. But it also lets us know that that is the power within itself that we get to choose. It's about developing the wisdom, the discernment to know what to keep and what to release once you pull it all in. giving yourself the opportunity to do that without just taking everything that comes at you. So today, I want to invite you to really just notice your own net. What did you catch this morning when you woke up and you looked at your phone, and when you turned on your TV, or when you spoke to whomever? Be the loving fisherman on the shore of your own soul and really just decide, what are you taking home with you? What are you going to own? What belongs to you and what needs to be thrown back into the sea? I'd love to hear what comes up for you when you think about this. Feel free to share it in the comments. Now let's talk about the end of the age in this scripture. This is the end of a mental cycle. It's the accumulation of a period of growth, of learning, where you can no longer tolerate the state of mind that you were in. You are compelled to sort things out. Have you ever felt like that? Like, you know what? I just can't take it anymore. I cannot even live and exist in this way so much that I am literally compelled to do something. And everybody's something looks different. Like, I was talking to my son this morning, and I was talking about my grandmother, his great grandmother, who was in World War II. And there was a movie about her in the 688. And I was saying, she fought in the war, but her role as a corporal, she wasn't in direct combat. So it's oftentimes that we think that when we're in battle or in war, that our way to contribute means that we have to be in direct combat. And it's not. It's not necessarily everybody's role into how we're supposed to be, because war actually begins when we want to end an age or end a cycle. It's a strategic thing, right? There's multiple operations and strategies in place as to why it's even happening in the first place, which is typically over resources. But the most powerful resource that we have is our own currency, our own energy, which is why social media isn't free, because we're paying so much attention to it. So you're compelled to sort things out. Don't be compelled to continue to look and focus on trying to sort out the bad fish. Throw the bad fish out. It's the moment that you decide, I will no longer entertain this negative thought. I'm no longer going to keep looking at this and not doing something. How can I, within my own world, my own universe, change this energetic focus? Because they've known it. So why are they releasing it now? We've known that this sea has been full of good and bad fish. This is what the ocean contains. So let's not focus on the obvious. Let's focus on what we can do. The negative age has ended. You have to decide. No one can decide for you what you're going to focus on. So let's not allow our consciousness to be hijacked into focusing on fish that don't even belong to us. The angels, they're not external beings, but our inherent intuition, the inner insight, the thoughts that illuminate and reflect our higher consciousness, that let us know that we're directly connected to source, that Christ, God, whatever you call, I call God the universal creator, most high consciousness, because all is the mind, and I'm connected to consciousness. I'm a living consciousness, and I'm a part of the one consciousness, the one love, the one life, the one infinite source. And so I know that I have a direct connection to the light. So I can just choose to allow my light, my focus, to be on the light, so that I can continue to bring it into my physical reality, as above, so below, as within, so without. I'll no longer entertain this negative thought that's bringing all these things into my reality that are darkness, that are fear and doom and gloom. And I'm deciding to now ending of that age, of that way of thinking, and focusing on the light, the divine ideas, the angels that are going to help me distinguish between truth and serve my highest good. These are my angels of intuition. The separation. This is really the crucial inner work that has to happen between controlling our own consciousness and choosing. Separation is a choice. It's a process of discerning and sorting out what we're going to choose to focus on. As the master of our own consciousness, we must sit down and consciously choose which thoughts we want to keep and which thoughts we're going to discard. All day, every day, we're doing it anyway. We have no days off. We already have 70,000 thoughts per day. There's nothing that we can do about the fact that we're constantly thinking. We can either choose to participate in that process in life and live, or we can be asleep and allow the world to keep us in this state and choose to stay that way. The choice is ours. We get to decide. Heaven or hell is our choice. And sometimes it can really feel like hell, which is the furnace of fire, but this is where transformation happens. All elements are cleansing and purifications for us, earth, water, fire, and air, but fire especially has its own unique way of burning away the dead in its alchemical process and completely getting rid of it in a very quick and speeding up the natural cycles of rhythm and the degrading of breaking down the components back into its bare mineral. Like, this is the spiritual fire that removes error down to the micro level, like the flaws, the sins, the mistakes, the beliefs that really allow and reveal a person's true character. Once all that is burned away, the fire allows our true authentic self to happen. So unless we gone through some kind of fire, when they say pressure makes diamonds, and the amount that of fire and heat that gold has to go to in order to shine, like, it's an alchemical process. So when you discard your negative thought, your bad fish, you withdraw your energy from it. And the divine law, by law, cannot be broken, manipulated, or destroyed. Transmute that energy, burning away the false beliefs and revealing the gold of our divine nature. And that sounds like painful. It's a painful process, right? Weeping and moaning and gnashing of teeth. Like, have you ever had a dream of when your teeth, like, that's a painful process. But it is a painful process because it is the sound of the ego's resistance and its limiting ideas. And right now, with everything that's happening in the world, this is the weeping and the moaning and the gnashing of teeth. Systemic biases and oppressions are being consumed by the light of truth in this new age of Aquarius, and everything is being revealed. Right now in the world, there is a considerable amount of weeping and moaning and gnashing of teeth on the part of the destructive beliefs of the human race that have been held under a spell, and people are finally waking up, because what is happening is not new to those of us that are indigenous, to those of us that were called gator bait. It's not new to us. It hasn't changed. It's been a continuous foundational process. But we know that the old system and beliefs won't give up easily. They're not going to. They don't want to. Why would they? Would you? If you stole something, would you really want to give it back? You would no longer be a thief. You would no longer exist. That part of you would have to die. And so these aspects of ourselves, they don't want to relinquish their hold on us. They want to keep us in a state of fear consciousness, only focusing on the pains of the world Who's they? Whoever they are to you, fill in the blank. Dictators, parents, anyone trying to govern you, your own self or your own beliefs, or anyone that has the ability to hijack your prefrontal cortex and your consciousness into making into making you think and feel something else that's not your own. Those are the bad fish. Stop being bound and tethered to someone else's reality that was never written for you to have your heaven. Don't let another person determine your worth or your reality, ever, period. I tell this to my boys all the time. This is the one thing, like when they say, like, what would you tell your younger self? During the age of Pisces, these bad fish swarm in the unseen. They thought they were unseen in the deep, dark sea of the collective subconscious. The first step coming out of this age of Aquarius, as we've done, is the pulling the net to shore to bring these beliefs into the light of conscious awareness, to call out what's happening, to call a spade, to call a bad fish, and to not gaslight or manipulate ourselves into thinking that it's not. Calling it for what it really is, naming racism, systemic biases, and internalized superiority, inferiority as political issues, but not spiritual maturity errors and a warped perception of reality. I was telling my son, I said, look at those cows over there. We were driving by a dairy farm, and there was brown cows and black and white cows. Some cows that were a little bit more white, but still had some black spots, and just all black cows. I said, imagine if these cows created a social superiority group. And the brown cows said that they were superior to the black and the speckled cows because they were the brown cows. And then the white cows said, no, well, we only have a couple of spots on us. We're more clean. But you see how silly that is, son? Because they're all cows. Shut up, you cow. You're all cows. You're all still living in this environment. You still function and breathe and live the same way. At least I think so. So it's a warped perception to think that you're anything less than a cow just because you have a different color to your skin and a different color spot. Unless you're the one owning the cage. Things are being brought to the shore, to the surface. Individuals and societies have to examine their own biases, their language and their beliefs, and things that they just allow to be swept under the rug can no longer be swept under the rug. Their very institution and their history with ruthless honesty. This is what it means to bring it to the shore. It is the solid ground, the present moment of awareness, where we can finally see it all out, the destructive beliefs clearly. But there's a violent, aggressive resistance of the ego, the gnashing of teeth. And that's all that's happening right now. This is the sorrow of the awakening. The ego's entire worldview is being exposed. A world of false separation, of hierarchy, of us versus them is being threatened to its extinction, as it should. So it fights back with anger, with war, with denial, with deflection, as a desperate cling to the old and familiar error that no longer has any power. It screams, but doesn't matter. The sorrow of the awakening and resistance of the ego is the sound of the old world burning away so that the new world, the kingdom of heaven, can be born from within. So pay attention. The alchemical fire that transmutes the lead, the us versus them consciousness into the glory of unity consciousness, of oneness. Oneness with self first, and then oneness with all of humanity. As within, so without, as the universe, so the soul. The parable of the net teaches you that your consciousness naturally gathers a mixed catch of thoughts from the world around you. We live in a dual world of good and bad. No one is to blame for this. Unfortunately, it just is what it is. However, you are responsible for what you keep and what you focus on. Don't let your attention and your focus and your energy get hijacked. You must reach a place of discernment, knowing and understanding the difference between receiving something good versus something that is bad, and accepting something that is good and is bad. Because you're going to receive everything, but are you going to accept it? You cannot avoid getting a mixture of both, but you can choose what you accept. That's when you say, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to look at my phone. I'm not going to do this or accept this as my reality. It's not ignoring what is happening. It's saying, I'm going to focus on the solution. I'm not going to just sit here and focus on the problem and what is not happening. Because the kingdom of heaven is a harmonious state of mind. It is achieved by a conscious sorting thoughts and beliefs. It's understanding that your attention is your currency. And your currency in your consciousness and your state of mind is your harmonious state, is what you're trying to achieve in order to reach your own kingdom of heaven. And you reach that by achieving a conscious sorting of your thoughts and your beliefs. So here is the 5-step protocol on how to harmonize into heaven. Number 1, acknowledge the mixed catch. Sometimes we want to deny, we don't even want to acknowledge it. So be honest with yourself that your mind contains things that don't feel good and things that do feel good. Know the difference between the two. And then 2, pull it to shore. Bring your subconscious beliefs into the light of your subconscious awareness. Acknowledge that you have it and become aware that you have them, and become aware of how they feel. This is putting 1 and 2 together. Examine your life and all of your experiences and how you feel about them, and how you replay them in your mind, and how you feel about replaying them in your mind, and what story you no longer want to have into that, and it's to being your negative in the fish that you continuously want to catch. 3, employ your angels. Use your intuition, your spiritual reasoning to discern what is true and what is false. Does this come from love? Is this belief, even though it happened, does this keep me in a victim consciousness? Can I get out of it? Yes, I can. I can always choose something else, and that every day. So what am I choosing? Employ your discernment, your higher thoughts, your angels. 4, keep the good. Cherish and nurture the thoughts that are loving, abundant, and peaceful. Pull them into the basket of your affirmed reality. Once you decide, you know what, this feels good. No, I'm not going to believe that I'm helpless and that I can't do anything and blah, blah, blah. I actually can do something. I'm going to go and help make sure that I love on my family. I'm going to make sure that I help 5 people today. I can make an impact every single day. I'm going to focus on how that feels and what I can do positively to make a change. And even in the slightest way, incrementally, every little bit counts. It's a shift in light and consciousness for the collective. 5, discard the bad. Consciously and deliberately reject, deny things that are of lack, that are fear, of hate, of hopelessness. Withdraw your belief from them, your attention, like completely ignore them as if they're just like little gnats, like, you don't even exist. because things have power when we give them our conscious energy. So when we withdraw our conscious energy from them and our belief in even having power, then they lose their power. This is law. An energy flows where attention goes. So the more attention you give it, the more thought you give it, the more energy you give to it. So withdraw your belief, your attention, your thoughts from it. Turn away from constantly entertaining those kinds of thoughts. And then they will be cast into the fire and transmuted, as they already are happening right now. But we're going to continue within that process and make sure we do our part. For the ages, the age of Pisces, these bad fish, they've been swimming in the unseen and the dark, but it's really like just a few hundred years when you compare it to the 8,000s of years that most societies, indigenous worlds, and history has longer periods of harmonious reigns, and so we're coming on the end at least within our lifetimes, right, of experiencing things within the past few hundred years. And so we're now into the dawning of the age of Aquarius, and our first step, we're pulling these things to the shore and we bring it all into the light of awareness. We call a spade. We call a bad fish a bad fish. We name those things. It's spiritual immaturity and a lack of emotional intelligence, and it's time to develop. It's time to step up and do things and bring things to the shore, to the present moment, where we finally see these destructive beliefs clearly, and so that we know them for what they are, so that we can throw them back into the sea. But let's not hold on to them. Let's not keep them in our net. Let's do the necessary work to toss it out and to focus on the good fish. So let me know in the comments, what is one bad fish you're choosing to release back into the sea this week? What age are you ending within your own self? I'm sending you much love and courage. Please remember your power always. If this message resonates with you, your spirit, your frequency, subscribe and join my community of sovereign, sentient light beings as we continue to master the universal laws and uncover the deepest truths within. And never forget the most powerful truth of all. You are the light. Just be it. Shine. Peace. Be well. Till next time, y'all.